All right, hi guys, it's Jared and Suzanne again from Zucchini
Hello.
and Co.
Woo!
Another podcast segment with Suzanne. For this segment, I want to let's talk about context in marketing, especially because when we talk about context, especially in marketing, you don't just want to send out words, meaningless words,
Yeah.
like even pictures, even graphics.
Yeah.
You don't just want to send out your product, picture of your product, and that's it, and ends it like that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty important when it comes to like including context in your marketing strategy, data, personal stories, stuff
Yeah.
like that. What do you have in mind when we say context in marketing?
I think when we talk about context in marketing, definitely it's very important because, for example, let's say if we just like push out, okay, this is Zucchini and Co, this is what we do, like what is the context to it? So I think it's very important to make sure that we push out the right message to the right group of people in the right context at the right timing. So for example, right now as we are shooting this video,
Right.
there is actually a water disruption. So
Yeah.
probably our Insta story later today for Picha Eats, which is our food brand, will be, okay, there's water disruption today, and what we can do is we can deliver food to you, and you don't have to have the hassle of washing dishes and things like that. Just let us send the food to you. So it's the right timing where a right message goes out at the right time. So I would say context is really important to push out messages that is more relatable, to push out messages that people can relate to better. I think another thing that we should always take note is that sometimes when we push out certain message to the audience, we might not be aware that they do not understand what we are trying to say.
Right.
So another example is, let's say we want to talk about waxing services. So if we understand the context and we understand the audience, we would know that people's perspective towards waxing is probably it's very painful, or it's very painful because we always see videos
Yeah.
of like things like that. So it's also our responsibility to set the context right, where we educate people that our service is not that painful, and it actually like doesn't harm you so much. So I think as a marketer, we also take the responsibility to educate people, to tell them directly how can they use the product, when
Right.
can they use the product, and so
Right.
on. Yeah.
Yep. So basically, you have to know who you're talking to, who
Yeah.
you're communicating with, your demographics,
Yeah.
and then trying to understand how they perceive towards a product or a service.
Yes.
And that's when you start to integrate your own message and how, including, like you said, educating them,
Yeah.
like the facts and the false and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think another thing about context is we also have to be very clear what is the end goal that we
Yeah.
want to achieve. Are we trying to, so with, for example, this piece of content specifically, is this content meant to inspire people, or is this content meant to trigger certain emotions, or is this content meant to trigger a purchase decision? So knowing the context of what we want people to do after reading this piece of information is very important as well, because
Right.
it will completely changes the way you write or you design or you do the creatives. Yeah. So I think one mistake that a lot of people make might be, oh, this is cool, let's do it, without thinking fully of where the audience is right now and how can we bring them to where we want to bring them. So it's really painting the full picture for the audience as well, in our caption, in our visual, in our creatives.
So would
Yeah.
you say like generally the outcome of having context in marketing is basically not just to send out messages, like share stories, or
Yeah.
share like about something, a fact or a product or brand.
I think it depends on the end goal. So if the end goal is to let's say trigger certain emotion,
Right.
or help people to feel that they are part of this, then yes, like storytelling and things like that. So I don't have like a clear answer. I would say it really depends.
Right. Again, it goes back to like being circumstantial, depending on who you are, what you're trying to tell, and what
Yeah.
you're trying to reach out to people.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, thanks Suzanne for
No problem.
that. That's very insightful. And that's it for this segment. If you really enjoyed this video, please click on the next one. It's Suzanne, guys. Really, she's amazing. She knows what she's doing. And yeah, till next one.
See ya.
Chatty Zucchini.